Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. And believe it or not, members, I will be brief. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak on my opposition to these maps. So we're going to be voting on in just a little while. So I'm going to take you back in history a little bit to last decade, where little Anna Eskamani was a college student at the University of Central Florida. Go Knights. And actually, it was that space where I first got engaged in the redistricting process as an advocate. I was attending what were back then the public hearings in district about the maps. And I remember being given the opportunity as a 20-year-old to speak on behalf of the communities that I cared about and continue to care about, and what my recommendations were of how to craft the maps that govern us for the next 10 years. And so, one of my biggest pieces of advocacy in this process has been, why was public access so limited throughout this endeavor? I know the feedback from committee staff and committee leaders is there's a website, there's all these tools of engagement, but I won't repeat what my colleagues have already said when it comes to concerns around what we made available this go around, and the emphasis on how important it is to make sure that this once every 10 years process is one that every person can have clear engagement and access, and have it be available in multiple languages, and ensure that we're taking that feedback into consideration, but we're bringing government to you versus the assumption that folks will just find us. Because in my now short 4 years of service, one of the lessons I've learned is I can't expect people to know what they don't know. And if folks don't realize this is happening, they don't understand what the process is, it's up to us as public servants to unpack that and bring it to them. And so I don't think that was a job well done here in this process. Now, to the heart of my concerns, I'm going to echo Representative and Senator Geraldine Thompson along the fact that with population growth in Florida in more diverse directions, we don't see that reflected in the maps. And my understanding, too, is that a decade ago, we did consider racial minorities and language minorities to be protected and integrated those elements into the drawing of maps 10 years ago. The legislature even provided percentages of the Haitian population in each district, something that I have not seen this session. And so this is such a beautiful state, such a diverse state. And other points that have been made by the court speak to the fact that you don't necessarily have to have, for example, a majority black district for those electorates to choose a candidate of their choice. But unfortunately, what ends up happening in this process at times is those voters are intentionally put into one district so that they don't have voting power in surrounding districts. And so it is my belief that with the population shifts in Florida, we should have seen more minority access districts. The state has transformed in its diversity. It doesn't make sense that we still have the same number 10 years later. And again, it's not required, and the court said this, if a minority population can elect a candidate of their choice without a majority voting age population, there's no need to maintain or create a majority minority district. So I am concerned about packing in these maps, and for those reasons and the ones I already listed, we'll be voting against the maps today. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Representative